The aftermath of the Dacian War saw a massive celebration in Rome. The Senate voted to grant Caesar a triumph for the conflict once he returned from the east. They also approved the construction of a massive renovation for the port of Ostia in Caesar's name. Many citizens of Rome shunned Brutus and Cassius after their plot against Caesar. Cassius was stripped of his planned governorship of Syria. Caesarian loyalists in the Senate also forced Brutus to leave his praetorship. Their fortunes began to turn later in the year, when local unrest prompted the Senate to look for a new governor of Cisalpine Gaul. The man who was supposed to be the governor of Cisalpine Gaul, Decimus Brutus, was off campaigning with Caesar. Swayed by the arguments of Cicero, who pled with the Caesarians to forgive Cassius, the Senate appointed Cassius as the new governor of Cisalpine Gaul. Cassius quickly traveled to the province and took control of the local army. Brutus joined him. After dealing with the unrest, Cassius received a letter from a man he had thought was dead. The letter was from Sextus Pompey. Sextus now commanded a huge armada in the central Mediterranean, conquering the island of Sicily. Sextus and his followers planned to continue the war against Caesar. Sextus wanted Cassius as an ally. Cassius was all too eager to cooperate. He and Sextus formulated a plan to wait for Caesar to distract himself with Parthia before assuming control of Italy. At this time, Caesar was busy organizing his army in the east. He ordered Lepidus to stay in Dacia with 4 legions in order to cement Roman rule over the region. Lepidus worked with Carzo to put down several small revolts that erupted throughout the year. A stream of Roman colonists began to settle in Dacia over the course of the next few months. Emboldened by Lepidus' success, some even set up farms north of the Danube, encroaching on native Dacian lands. Back in Antioch, Caesar's Hellenistic allies Urganus of Judea and Cleopatra of Egypt sent Caesar a large amount of gold to finance the war. Caesar used this money to pay his legions and hire a large amount of eastern cataphracts and horse archers. The money was also used to ensure the continued loyalty of a group of elite Germanic cavalry. By this point, Caesar's army in Syria was composed of 80,000 legionaries, thousands of allied Greek soldiers, and almost 20,000 horsemen, a total of over 100,000 men. It was the largest army ever assembled in Roman history. Before beginning the invasion, Caesar negotiated an alliance with King Artavasdes of Armenia, who agreed to join the Roman war effort. The war began when Artavasdes invaded Parthian territory, seeking to distract the Parthian king Orodes. At the same time, Caesar devised a cunning plan to support Artavasdes and cripple the Parthians. He took most of his cavalry, supported by only a modest amount of Roman and Greek infantry, and sped through the Armenian highlands. At the same time, 80,000 men guarded Caesar's baggage train. The Parthian general Monaeses quickly became aware of these movements. He had the choice of either attacking the baggage train, defended by an enormous Roman army, or attacking Caesar, who was extremely vulnerable to a surprise attack. Monaeses chose the latter, ignoring the baggage train and attacking Caesar. But Caesar's force was able to travel extremely fast, and retreated further back into Armenia. Several groups of Armenian militia moved to support Caesar. The Parthian horse archers immediately began unleashing arrows on the vulnerable Armenians, dealing immense casualties. Believing that victory was at hand, the Parthian cataphracts then charged uphill to rout the Armenians. Despite suffering enormous losses, the Armenians held their ground long enough for Caesar's cavalry to outflank the Parthians. Now surrounded, the Parthian horse archers had nowhere to run. The Armenian horse archers then began pelting the remaining Parthian cataphracts with arrows, forcing them to retreat, but Caesar pursued the Parthians, capturing and slaughtering them all. A Germanic warrior managed to kill Monaeses, ending the battle. After this decisive victory, Caesar blitzed through Armenia, moving to support Artavasdes, who was in the middle of a difficult siege at the city of Haraspa. The Parthian king Orodes had Artavasdes surrounded and was prepared to strike the killing blow. But when news arrived of Monaeses' defeat and the imminent arrival of an army led by Caesar, Orodes panicked and immediately retreated. Caesar and Artavasdes then began preparing for an assault on Haraspa. If they captured this city, they would be able to make a move on the Parthian heartland.